Alright, so I'm gonna do a weekly outlook, go over what the markets are, how the markets are looking. So, on the last week on DXY, I said that after we swept this high and we had this massive displacement down on a daily, that this was likely the next draw on liquidity being the previous year low, right? So, um, when I recorded it, we already had this massive gap. So, to be honest, the expectations were low, but I wanted to see if we could form a daily fair value gap and then use that to go short. But um, already on Tuesday, we already saw this massive dump again. No news, just we didn't take these highs out, which I was looking to go short from. So we just had this massive dump throughout the whole day, and then just took out the sell side liquidity, and that was it. So for me afterwards, there was basically no trade opportunities. I wanted to wait for FOMC as well to see if we could get that manipulation and then look for shorts, but we already had this done pre FOMC. So to me, that was pretty suspicious from DXY. So to me, after you take out high time frame drawn liquidity, is either with this large of an expansion, you go. It could be anything could happen, right? We could get a consolidation profile, we can get a retracement, we can get a reversal, So, this is why I was waiting to see how the price would react after taking out this low, and then we had this large displacement, which I managed to, catch some euro shorts, and now for me, I'm not gonna go over the trades that I've taken, but I've done some trade breakdowns of the week. But yeah, now what I would be expecting for next week is if Monday we can come up and take out these daily equal highs into this volume imbalance, and then we have this daily fair value gap as well, and we also have the previous week high, then we can see if we can look for shorts from here. But to be honest, for me, because of how the weekly candle was closed, right, we swept this low and we've displaced higher, and we've had 150 pip beta reversal here on DXY. We've taken out the previous month low, and the way we closed back inside of this range. So same thing here, which the reason I went short. We swept the high and we closed back inside of the range, and we also had this 3-month fair value gap. But the fact that we swept this low and we're failing to close below it shows that, either this could be a retracement into this premium of the dealer range, or price could price could sell off from here, or this could be a reversal. And if you look at the market profile we're in on a weekly, right, we're in a range and profile. So this could easily be price sweeping the range lows, come back into the range, and then we go for the range highs again. And we do have this monthly fair value gap, and then we do have this flat open which hasn't been swept here. So price could come all the way back up higher and then come for these highs. But to confirm that on a daily, you would want to see price to close above this daily fair value gap, right? So for me, next week, the way Monday opens up, right, would be how I'll navigate the bias. So say Monday comes up and we form a daily fair value gap, then I would, because we had the sell side sweep and the displacement on a daily here, I would look for potential longs from the Monday lows and see if we can come up for these highs, right? But say that we come up here, and then we consolidate, and then we take out the Monday highs, and then we start displacing lower, then the Monday lows could be a potential draw in liquidity into the daily fair value gap. So if I could draw like a box, say Monday's like this, could draw green, green day, with the Monday highs and the Monday lows. This would be the way you would navigate the bias here. you know, if we take out the, where's my toolpath? My toolpath has completely disappeared here, but yeah, say we take out the, say we take out the Monday highs on Tuesday, and then you can look for shorts back into the Monday lows, and then you have this daily fair value gap as the draw on liquidity. But then say that, if we don't get that short opportunity and then we just come into the daily fair value gap, and then you could look for potential longs back into this high, and then you could even aim higher just in case we invert the daily fair value gap and then we come for these highs. But this will be the main draw on liquidity. But it would be the same thing. Say we, sweep the Monday high, come for the Monday low, and then we invert this fair value gap on the daily. Then you could look for even more shorts from this level, and then aim for this low as well. So that would be the way I would be navigating bias this week, right? When there's not really a clear weekly direction, because we have the weekly fair value gap, but then we have this sell side sweep, and then it could be like a potential 3-bar swing. Next week the candle could just push up higher. That's how you'd want to navigate it here. So you like to see price, how price respects the Monday highs or the Monday lows would be the way you want to navigate the bias for potential intraday plays. And then the way that we close from this daily fair value gap, or this upper daily fair value gap, would be how you'd anticipate the higher time frame bias, whether we come for these highs next or it could be come for this low here. That would be how you'll navigate on the weekly time frame. So that's essentially my game plan next week. See how the Monday range forms, and then see how we respect the Monday highs or lows, because we have this bullish key level, sell side sweep, displacement, but then we also have premium, bearish daily fair value gap. So it could go either way. So yeah, that's my game plan. And then on Euro, same thing here. I want to see how Monday range forms, how we respect this daily fair value gap. We can look for longs back into Monday highs, or if we come into the daily fair value gap, you can look for shorts back into these lows. So yeah, Euro looks even more interesting, because even though there's SMT lows, they're still equal lows on the daily and weekly time frame. So price could even sweep the side and come for all of these lows here essentially. So, and we have this 3-month fair value gap as well, even though DXY's tapped it, EU's not. And if you look at GU as well, if you look at Euro GBP as well, Euro GBP is bearish, which is why I took my shorts on Euro over pound, right? Because I was saying last week that either we failed to take out this high, but because we displaced lower, we closed below these up close candles. To me, and on the 4 hour, how we're respecting the bearish PD raise, like here we came up into this hourly fair value gap and then sold off. To me, this is looking like a market maker sell model, and then we're gonna come for these lows again, and then potentially these lows as well on Euro GBP. So for me, the last week the bias was short on this pair, and I'm still looking for shorts here. And we had this 4 hour fair value gap, we consolidated here, took out the range highs, and now we're starting to see displacement here. So yeah, because I'm still holding my Euro shorts and we have these equal lows on Euro GBP, I'm expecting some explosive move on Euro lower here. So I do kind of prefer shorts on Euro over longs because of Euro GBP, right? I think we could come for all of these lows again if we invert this daily fair value gap. But yeah, we just have to see what the DXY bias is saying first, because then pound could also give longs from this fair value gap back into this high, and because Euro GBP is bearish, this could be the better pair to look for longs. So yeah, if we go on to USD CAD, I said that I wanted to wait for this daily fair value gap to form and then look for shorts into this low, which did happen, but I didn't manage to catch the shorts on this day, right? Because I was watching it, but because DXY was, in this consolidation and we didn't take out these highs into the daily fair value gap, I didn't want to take the USD CAD shorts, so I skipped it on this day. DXY managed to dump, and it resulted in UCAD dumping and then taking out these triple equal lows, which is my high time drawn liquidity. So yeah, took out the lows, external lows, and now we came back for this internal but went back for the internal, which was the daily fair value gap. So yep, this one I'm not really too interested in here, to be honest. I'd rather wait for euro or pound. But yeah, euro CAD, very choppy on the daily, so I probably would look at this. But we have these triple equal lows and we've had this sweep of the range highs here, so yeah, I'd expect price to go for the range lows here. And GBP CAD, we've inverted this daily fair value gap, so on this pair as well. I don't know where my path tool is. We inverted this fair value gap, so we inverted this fair value gap, so I'd anticipate lower prices on GBP CAD. But bro, like, you can see how choppy this is, right? This delivery up and down. So to be honest, I wouldn't really wanna, trade this pair. UJ as well, I was saying that I wanted to see price form this daily fair value gap and then look for shorts, but we just had same with UCAD, massive dump, take out the lows with no setup, and then now price is now coming back for the internal after tapping a monthly fair value gap. So this one I'm not really too interested in. Euro GBP, Euro JPY and GBP JPY, these were the two pairs that I was mainly watching for heading into the new week. And what we could see happen was, I wanted to see, because we had this previous week high sweep and this displacement on the daily, we formed this order block, and then on the 4 hour we had this massive displacement. I wanted to see price if we could come back into this area, but then we had this massive gap lower, and then we just took out the sell side, so tapped the weekly fair value gap, and now we're slowly grinding higher. So to be honest, this one I'm not really too interested in. But yeah, we've inverted this fair value gap on the 4 hour, so to be honest, I would anticipate that this pair also goes higher. And Euro JPY, I wouldn't trade this pair because Euro GBP is bearish. So even though we inverted this fair value gap, I wouldn't look to trade this pair. But yeah, like you could even see the delivery to close above was very choppy. Same with this pair as well, very choppy delivery. So these pairs I wouldn't touch as well. Exotics, when majors are trending like the way they are, not trending, but the way when majors are not consolidating, like we're seeing large displacement up, large displacement down, that's when you want to avoid cross pairs, because then you'll usually get euro and pound start to expand, and then you'll also be getting futures pairs start to expand. Like you'll see USD JPY expanding, USD CAD start expanding, and the futures pairs are usually the opposite of those pairs, right? So you'll usually get like a strong, for example, you'll get a bearish pound, and then you'll also get a bearish yen futures, for example. So yen futures bearish, euro bearish, so it would cause like GBP, Euro JPY and GBP JPY to be very choppy, like not move at all. So you wouldn't want to really trade those pairs. Same with here, CAD going down, and then euro going down, pound going down. Like we even look at the futures contracts, euro going down, pound going down, JPY going down, CAD going down. So you don't want to trade two currencies that are both weak. Essentially, that's when you want to avoid it. So when basically, essentially, when majors are expanding, just avoid those cross pairs. So, and then euro odd and GBP odd. I said that Euro odds, we had this daily fair value gap, which I wanted to look for shorts from, into these lows, which we did. But again, cross pairs, you have this very choppy delivery. Like, look at this. It's just consolidation and then a drop lower. So, right bias on that pair, but nothing that I would take. And then same with GBP odd. We had these lows here as a higher time frame draw, and we had this daily fair value gap. And then same thing here. We came into it, and then, to be honest, like, we inverted this fair value gap, right? But again, just look how choppy the whole delivery is here. So I was thinking of, you know, taking a short here and place my stops up here. But again, this, which would have been a valid setup, but because it was pre FOMC, it wasn't really like a setup that I wanted to say. But yeah, this would have been a valid setup if you wanted to take this on the hourly time frame. And then let's check oil. This one I didn't cover in the weekly outlook last week because I forgot to do it, but I made an update video which I spoke about the US oil longs that I was in. You know, clean market maker buy model, taking out monthly sell side into this monthly fair value gap low, swept the low, also previous year low, so a massive sell side sweep. And then we've seen this large displacement on the daily. We had this daily order block, daily fair value gap. We had the Bollinger lid, swept the low, formed this propulsion block, and then we also had this volume imbalance which we came into, engineered the low, swept the low, displaced higher. And then this order block was where I took my entry on the 4 hour, also on a 4 hour inversion fair value gap. And then we had these equal highs here into this daily fair value gap as a draw on liquidity, which I took profits, and then price got above it and also went for the buy side. So here now I wouldn't touch oil because we've taken out that high time frame draw on liquidity. I'd wait for more price to develop here, and then potentially you could even come for these highs next. And our Bitcoin, very clean on the monthly time frame. All the higher time frames very clean. This one I've been preaching shorts for, I think, the longest now, at least 2 months since I started making these outlooks. I've been talking about Bitcoin shorts every week. So yeah, weekly fair value gap, daily fair value gap, which I took my swing short off, and then closed above the daily fair value gap, formed an inversion, formed a daily bearish daily fair value gap, swept it, and then displaced lower. Yeah, propulsion block, came into the propulsion block and then went lower, and now I'm about to take out this monthly low here, being the November lows. And then now we have this low as well, 75k, 74k, which would be the next draw in liquidity once we take out this low. So yeah, that's my TP for my BTC shorts as well. So, and then you can see on Ethereum, same thing here. I wanted to see price tap the daily fair value gap, but we didn't. Well, yeah, we took out the low, and now if we close like this on a daily, I would expect price to come for this 2.1k level. But yeah, SMT with BTC inverted this daily fair value gap, sold off, and then straight up went for these lows. So yeah, gold looking very interesting now, because you know, now we've seen this insane grind higher for the longest time, right? Every single week price was opening with a flat open on gold. So you know, it was a matter of time until price was gonna come and give this massive sell-off and, you know, take out a lot of this liquidity here. So now, to be honest, I wouldn't really touch gold, because now we've had massive displacement up and massive displacement down. Like, if you see these candles, you haven't seen a candle like this on gold before. You know, this is massively overextended on the daily now. So, you know, if you look at any of the daily charts, there hasn't, even this one, we've got this candle here, $10,000, 67,000, 70,000, 80,000. So yeah, I can't lie, this is very, very overextended here. As the bias is a bit hard to tell because of how bullish we're trending. It's hard to really tell if this is if we're just gonna tap all these daily fair value gaps and then continue higher, like we just reverse this, or if we form a daily fair value gap and then continue lower and take out all of these lows, and then this is at the top on gold here. So right now I need to wait. I would probably wait for more daily candles to form a bias on this. But yeah, I wouldn't trade this because of how overextended this is now, even up and even down. So there's probably going to be some very choppy price action that occurs from here now, since we've had this massive move. So yeah, I wouldn't trade gold, and same for silver. I would not trade these pairs at all. I'd fully skip them, especially with the clean framework that we have on majors as well. So yeah. And then NQ managed to smash NQ as well. So I've pretty much nailed the bias on every single pair this from the weekly outlook on that was on my watch list. So all these pairs, we managed to smash them. On NQ, I was saying that we had sell side sweep, displacement, and this would be the second leg reaccumulation. So accumulation, manipulation, distribution, and I managed to catch longs from here to these highs here, equal highs, daily fair value gap. So managed to catch longs from there to there. Also previous day low sweep into this volume imbalance, and then the way price reacted to this high would be telling on the bias for the upcoming days. If we closed above here, then we could look for longs into this high. If we reject from this high, then we could look for shorts back into all of these lows and then this low as well. So once we seen this displacement, it was pretty obvious to me that we were going to go lower. And unfortunately, I did manage to catch a loss on ES here. I got stopped out here on my shorts before the price dumped, but yeah, I managed to get the bias right for the longs here and the shorts, so I'm pretty happy with that regardless. But yeah, I would anticipate that we would see lower NQ and ES here now, because if you look at the daily, rejected from all-time highs, SMT with NQ at all-time highs, rejecting off this fair value gap after sweeping these highs. So avoid this fair value gap. So I would anticipate that we go for these lows on ES, and then NQ, I'd anticipate that we go for these lows. And then we could even potentially see price come for these lows again as well. We're going to have to see how the higher time frame closes. But yeah, I'm anticipating at least the previous week low to get taken out for NQ and ES. And to be honest, because we're in a ranging profile, you wouldn't really want to have a strong high time frame bias, right? You'll just want to see price go from range highs to range lows. Same here, range lows back to the range highs. That's the easiest way to play ranges, right? Same thing with DXY on the weekly time frame. You just want to, like here, take out the range lows. Easy bias to just look for longs back into the range highs, or the middle of the range at least. So yeah, when you're inside of a range, you don't really need to anticipate price to break out of the range. Like here, for example, people probably, when the weekly candle was forming, people are probably anticipating we were going to break out of the range finally. But then look at this here, swept this low and came back inside of the range. So I say very high probability chance that we'll just come for the range highs again, depending on how we treat these fair value gaps. So yeah, same thing as NQ and ES as well. Because the weekly is in such a range and the daily, you could just play the range. You don't need to anticipate price to break out of the range and come all the way back lower, or come and break the range highs and go higher. So yeah, managed to smash the bias last week, so we'll see if our outlook is right for the pairs again. But yeah, main pairs I'm watching for is mainly euro and pound. Not really watching other pairs like that, like UCAD, UJ for example. ES and NQ potentially, and then we'll waiting for Bitcoin for my TP to get here as well. And euro, I'm also waiting for my TP to get here, but price is around 14 pips for my TP, and my shorts are all the way from up here. So currently around 90 pips in profit. So yeah, unless we get some crazy open gap where price open somewhere around here, price should take out the previous week low, which is my TP, into this flat open, and then we'll see, frame the bias from there, right? See how price reacts to this level, see how the money range forms, and yeah, we'll go from there to navigate the weekly bias. So yeah.